Congratulations on completing this copywriting training and the sixth section of this course. You now know how to write copy that sells using the AIDA formula. In this lecture, let's quickly recap on what you have learned. And the first major point to remember is that copywriters aren't born, they really practice. So if you don't think that you're a writer, it's okay. You now have the formulas and the templates, including those headline templates, to really come at copywriting from a more scientific point of view. It's not just creative, and you now have the formulas to really structure your sales copy. Remember that copywriting is just a way of using written words to persuade people to take the action that you want them to take, whether that be to make a purchase, submit an email, request a demo. And that is really important. If you want to grow your business, you really need people to take those actions. Copywriting really touches pretty much everything that you do online, on your website, and also in all the marketing channels that you're going to be looking at. Within this course itself, you saw that we already started to use copywriting in the market research section when you're explaining the benefits of people really completing your survey. Also in email marketing with the subject lines, SEO when you're creating SEO optimized content, YouTube and you're writing those video scripts in the first 30 seconds, Facebook really creating posts, Quora, and Google AdWords writing those effective ads. So it really touches every part of marketing, and that's why it's so important we got this set up before we start to get into more of those sections, so you have this AIDA formula to constantly refer back to and remind you every time you make a post, every time you write an ad, etc. Now the important thing to remember as well, that when you're using this formula, if you couple it with your buyer persona, that is really where it gets powerful. It's not just the structure alone. You have to remember who you're writing for. When we've done that early in their course, when we really set up our marketing plan and tested that buyer persona with our survey, you now know who you're writing for and how that person thinks and what that person needs, because you really, to get their attention, their interest, their desire, and to take action, you really need to know who that person is. And one key thing to remember as well is that before you write a single word, you must have a goal for your buyer persona, and you should be clear on what is that goal that you're leading them towards. Earlier on in this course, we've set that up for email marketing. It's to build our email list, and so the primary action that you're leading people towards is to getting them to sign up to your email list. Now, with all that foundation laid, we got into the actual formula itself, AIDA, and attention already starts with getting those headlines. You learned that if you're going to focus your attention on any part of copywriting, it would just be the headline. This is where 80% of the gains can be made, is really in the headlines alone. This is where all the attention is. And we looked at this chart to really help visualize that. They're so important that I recommend you really start with the headline, because the blog posts don't go viral, it's the headlines that do. If you can sum up an idea simply in a headline, then the rest of the post will really follow suit, and it can set the format for the rest of your posts as well. We then got into the 11 tips for magnetic headlines, and once again I reminded you that it's all about practice. If you want to get those clicks, you should practice. I gave you the tools and some of the inspiration to make that happen. And these techniques, including starting with numbers, using how-to headlines, punctuation, flagging common mistakes, are really the ways that you can get that attention, and especially using images to enhance your headline. After you have their attention, it's time to really turn that attention into interest. And the way that you do that is connect with their problems. That's the first indication that you can really give them that you can solve their problem. And that's what you want to do. By showing that you understand their problem, the next step is to really present your solution and create that desire and make them feel the transformation that your solution offers. Make sure to highlight the benefits and not just the features of your product. Once you've got their attention, their interest and desire, the next step is to lead those readers to action And I gave you these 5 tips to create those irresistible call to actions. Making sure you have that action using command verb, creating urgency, making them pop off the page, and making them less threatening and removing risk than they really need to be. So that is really the AIDA formula. Take that with you everywhere that you go online, because it really is the formula that you can use for sales videos, for landing pages, for Facebook posts. So what I suggest you do now is, if you have a landing page like I've set up for my website here, you start to apply AIDA. Write that headline that can really get attention. It's got the numbers in it, and it's really talks about what the topic is. I've also got then in here really the desire. This is really what the outcome is going to be for people. And I've got this call to action with an incentive in it here to get people to click. Now, it can be hard to fit every single one of these elements, AIDA, into it, and it does take some work. Copywriting, you can change this. You can come back, adjust headlines. You can add in more benefits. You can focus more on the problems. So there isn't one solution for every single thing, but it's taking those elements when you approach a new copywriting exercise and really doing them. So that is really how you are going to be using copywriting straight away. You can apply it to a landing page or the next blog post that you'll be writing in the SEO section of the course, or the YouTube videos that you'll be making, or the ads that you'll be using or creating later on in the AdWords sections of the course. That wraps up on the 6th section, meaning that you're now halfway through this course. Going back to the very start, you've completed your marketing plan, you've done your market research, you've set up your WordPress website, you've set up the sign-up forms on your website to collect email addresses, and now you have the AIDA formula to really move forward, to write that copy that sells. And in the next section of the course, you'll have a real opportunity to do that again. You're going to be creating an SEO optimized piece of content, and this is really the first traffic source that we'll be looking at. The search engines are a fantastic way to get visitors to your website, so I really look forward to running through this 26-point checklist with you in the next section. I'll see you there.